Yes, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV on what is, look at this. It is blistering sunshine in South London today. And I've got my barbecue t-shirt on, the Barbecue Buddies, because today I'm about to host about 20 people for a barbecue for the wife's 40th. So big birthday plans here today. After a lovely night last night, and woke up to the news that we all knew was coming, that Mathys Tel is a Tottenham Hotspur player. It's been officially announced by Tottenham Hotspur as the most important one, but it's been announced by Tottenham, and it's been announced by Romano and Plettenberg and blah, 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 blah. We'll have a look at all that as we go. We knew it was coming yesterday. We did the show. We said he's on the verge of signing. And again, for me, it just feels like another signing where, I don't know, I think the word lazy springs to mind. I think it's just lazy. It's not that he's the worst player I've ever seen. Does it do anything for you? As a fan, I always look at it and go, right, Spurs have announced, boom. And I go, okay. All right, I'm excited. I'll be honest. Spurs have announced the signing of James Maddison. I was like, yes, okay, now that's a signing. Spurs have announced Solomon. Spurs have announced Odegaard. Okay, Spurs have announced Tel. Spurs have announced Solanke, Richarlison, Gray. Okay, like it almost feels like half the fan base that still go, oh, it's a great signing and he's young and potential. It's like we don't learn from year to year. Listen, I'm not saying he can't be great in a few years. I'm not saying that at all. I just want to know, when are Tottenham going to sign for now? When are we going to sign for season 25-26, not season 27-28? Now, Tel could be the greatest thing since sliced bread this season. And if he is, I'll turn around and go, fair play, mate. And I hope he is. I really, really hope he is. However, everything I've seen from him for a number of years, none of it tells me that that's going to happen. A lot of people seem to be making up this narrative. They've seen something and he's got something. Sure, but my eyes haven't seen it. The stats don't back it up. And I'm kind of like, well, if the eyes and the stats don't say it, then where is it? It's okay to say, oh, I don't rate a player. But then you go, okay, well, actually, he's got 94 goals in 160 games. You go, oh, okay. But I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, I'm not really sure what he does. And I guess this is, I'm guessing this is up to Frank now to get the best out of this, right? I guess we can talk about it this morning. We've got an hour together. We've got a whole hour together. Is this a guy that comes in and he is our first choice left winger, left-sided forward? Is this a guy that comes in and he's going to be learning off of another left-sided winger that we bring in? I can't see that. I can't see that we're going to then spend more money on a left winger. I'm not sure. It feels like we've just done on the left what we did on the right last season. It feels like it was an easy opportunity, like it was with Odegaard. And now we've got a right winger and a left winger that neither of which have done anything in football. Both need massive coaching. Both need time to learn and grow as players. And that's fine if that's the route we're going down. If that's the route we're going down, then stop charging the fans what you charge them, right? If the route you're going to go down is constantly teenagers, young players that have done nothing in football, then slash your season tickets and your ticket prices in half, right? Slash your kit prices in half. But for me, listen, I think Lubo put it the best yesterday. He said, look, this is business that's rolled over from the old regime. So I get that. I completely agree with him and I get that. But he also said, now what needs to happen? We've now got to be serious. We can't be bringing in more Tels. We can't now look at Froholt from the young, what is he, Norwegian, Danish? We can't look at young Froholt. We've really got to start buying some proper footballers, senior pros, because I've seen this before. Listen, especially being a YouTuber, I see this all the time. And by the way, good morning to each and every one of you. Hope you're all well. Sorry. Did I say good morning? How very rude if I didn't. Good morning to you all. There's 275, 50 likes. Guys, you know what to do. Smash that like button for the wife's birthday. It's the big 4-0 today. Smash that button. She's downstairs getting ready for a big barbecue. And then I've got to go and stoke that barbecue up, get the food out there and get it going. So smash the like button for the wife's 40th. So we should be seeing this go to 200 likes imminently. Come on. She puts up with a lot with me, always in here streaming. I feel sorry for Tel. I feel like for me, this is another Archie Gray type signing. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Is a lot of these clubs go out and buy youngsters that haven't really done anything, and they buy them for 10, 15 million, maybe 20 at the tops. Spurs keep going out and buying these people for 40 plus. And I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Like Gray was, 40 million, depending on how you want to divvy up that deal. Tel, 45 million pounds. You know, for that money, couldn't we be seeing better? Like I saw a report yesterday that said Bakayoko, that Bakayoko from Holland is available apparently between 15 and 20 million euros. By the way, as well, sorry, happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. Sorry, my dad passed away a long time ago, so I don't ever really remember, but I've just seen people in the chat saying, happy Father's Day. Yeah, happy Father's Day to absolutely every single one of you in the chat who's a dad. Happy Father's Day to any of the single mums who are raising kids by themselves. Happy Father's Day to all of you. Sod it, all of you. Big up to you lot. Look, I've done a poll, and the poll is quite simple. Let's get more votes on there. Will Tel be our main forward signing this window? Yes, no, and I bloody hope not. Yes is 17%. So 17% of people have zero faith that Tottenham are going to go out and buy better in the forward areas. No, 38%. And I bloody hope not is at 45%. Look, I'll say what I said to Lubo yesterday. We cannot go into next season in the Premier League or the Champions League with a front three of Johnson, Solanke and Tel. We just can't do it. Now, we've got to have a look, right? Depends what formation Thomas Frank plays. He might not play with a three up front. He might go over two up front. But you can't go in with that forward line for me. That can't be it. We can't be going in pretending to be a serious club that have just won a European trophy, and that is what we're going in with. I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers, by the way. I know I'm seeing loads of comments in my chat. YouTubers now suddenly going on about how great it is. But loads of those channels have big numbers because they say nice things, right? If you say nice things about everyone loves you. I try and keep it real over here. And that means I'm going to get some things right. That means I'm going to get some things wrong. But you know what? If you just say everyone's amazing, it doesn't really say a lot for your football opinion, does it? If you think every signing is amazing, then it means that there's no critical thinking gone into your actual opinion at all. As I've said, I'm not. I hope he comes good. I really do hope he comes good. I really do hope that we see something from him. But I saw nothing in his 6 months that made me go, yeah. I think his crossing was horrendous. His shooting was awful. I think I saw a stat. It was something like 8 out of every 10 times he tries to beat his man, he can't. It's mad. I'm just not sure what people have been seeing. People are going, oh, he's been really good. At what? At what was he really good at? I'm not so sure. Corey saying shows a lack of ambition. The only thing I'm going to give this, Corey, is what Lubo said. That we kind of knew the Danso deal and the Tel deal was probably already there. And look, the fact it's happened like 2 days after Frank's been announced, we knew it was there already. So Frank really wouldn't have had a lot to do with any of this. But moving forward is what I want to see. And we're going to talk about that tonight, guys. The Spurs review. Got me, Lubo, Danny, Lubo, Danny, Luke from Spotlight on Spurs, Mr. Box Office, possibly Spurs Talk Show, Sean, possibly. He brings the fire, doesn't he, Sean? Possibly Sean as well. So we'll be live tonight for 7 30. So that is what I would say. I want to listen before I go, oh my God, the window's dreadful. I'm not going to do either of those two things. I'm not going to go, oh my God, the world is over. What are we doing? And I'm also not going to do this whole thing. I'm seeing all these people now making these videos as to why Tel is perfect. Now, they did this last year about Odegaard. They did this about Solanke. They did this about Gray. They did this about Yang. They do it about every player. Why they're perfect. And I get it. Clicks, likes, views. But they've been very wrong about all the signings last summer. Because, again, if you just say nice things, it doesn't make you right. All right, so I'm gonna hold fire. I'm gonna say I hope that Frank can work wonders with Tel, but we need better up front. That's all I'm gonna say. We need better. We cannot go into this season with Johnson, Solanke, Tel, and Odegaard as your and Solomon. That can't be your five for a team in the Champions League. That can't be it. Well, sure. But the prop Sanford, this is my point. Point is, if you say all of them are brilliant, someone's going to work out, right? I just think sometimes it's okay to say, you know what, intriguing signing. Let's see what happens. But I think when you say that every signing is amazing, and it's I've seen something. No, you haven't. Don't lie. You haven't seen anything. He's done nothing. He's not done anything to say you've seen something. And working hard isn't a metric. That's a prerequisite from a footballer. Listen. This deal wasn't done in 48 hours. This deal's been in the works since January. So Thomas Frank does not. So. That's not exactly how transfers work. Garnacho for the same price. I would have rather Garnacho than Tel. Not saying I want Garnacho before him. I would rather Garnacho than Tel for me. I think there's so many players out there, so many wingers better than Tel. You have to remember when Bournemouth came to Brentford, it took him a couple of seasons. See, again, it's the trust me, he will be a baller. No one's saying he won't be in the future, Eamon. But why do fans like you not want better right now? Again, I've got to make this really clear. As fans don't listen. It's not that I don't think he could be good in the future. But why don't fans like Eamon want better for now? Why is everything, in a few years we could, sure, in a few years. But is this why we built the £1 billion stadium? Is this why we built the £1 billion stadium? So that every signing could be, in a few years, we'll do this. Then you get people saying, hang on, who's Paris Saint-Germain? Wow. So Paris Saint-Germain and Zabani of Bournemouth have agreed personal terms on a 5-year contract. Discussions continue with Bournemouth. I told you, Zabani, another good centre-half. The observant one, sorry, I'll come back to that, Mike. I said, Tel is a striker, not a winger. Not from what I saw, he's not a striker. I'll be honest, he did not look a striker. Physicality, his hold-up play, he did not look a striker for me. But we'll have to see. Big up to my man, Mike Zappa. Said, morning, Savva. Good morning to you. Apart from taking a decent penalty, didn't do much against Georgia under 21s last night. Thought Odegaard looked better. I just think it's crazy. Like, we've now got the same on the right as we do on the left. We've not got a senior winger on either side other than Son, who is probably going to leave. It worries me. It really worries me. We'll see. If Bayern rated him, they wouldn't have sold him. Look, I get it. It is what it is. Achilles 10 said, my problem with the Tel deal is that for 15 million more, we could have got the Xavi Simons. I think this is what... Rimple Foreskin, thank you. What a lovely thing to say. If you shank Savva, you become a Spurs legend. That's lovely. Welcome to the troll. Everybody, give a nice clap to the troll. Hang on. Can we confirm it's a troll? It's a troll. Big up, Rimple Foreskin. And now let me remove Rimple Foreskin from the show indefinitely. There we go. So weird, isn't it? So weird that people who have access to the internet is the first thing they think to do, but big up to you. Yeah, Bournemouth are being ripped apart. They are. They've lost Kirkes, Hewson, and now it looks like they're getting losing Sabanyi as well. I feel for them, but hey, it is the football food chain. Borussia Mönchengladbach are signing 16-year-old twin brothers from Young Boys. Wow. Literally. Nate, this is what I hope. I hope that Tel and Odeberg are the two that come on. That's what I hope. By the way, big up to Aussie Frank Lover with a super sticker. Big up to you. Thank you very much, my friend. Really, really do appreciate that. The Aussie Frank Lover, indeed. Big up to you. Thank you very much. Ryan Trestane. Big up, Ryan. Happy Father's Day to you. I said, I'm really not excited about Tel. I'll be excited about Eze, but I think that's just some of us. That's including me and you, Savva. Look, I think everybody would be excited with Eze. I just don't know whether or not it's going to happen. I would love it, but it just feels to me very, very lazy, the signing of Tel. We shall see. It just feels very, very lazy indeed. Big up. Thank you very much for your super chat, Ryan. And you've been very generous and come in again and said, being a dad that is not allowed to see his child, I just see it as another day. And I would have taken Sane over Tel. Listen, sorry to look, Ryan. I'm sure you've got your own stuff going on, and I'm sorry to hear that, mate. I'm sure as time goes on, these things will sort themselves out. But thank you very much. Very generous. And yeah, listen, Sane, he's gone to Galatasaray like 288 grand a week. And again, I think if you're going to be paying someone 288 grand a week, I do not think it's going to be Mathys. It's going to be Leroy Sane. But listen, thank you very much, Ryan. Really appreciate that. Let me get some more of your comments, people, about Eamon has said, if Tel had have stayed as a striker and not went out on the wing, then he was a no. But I thought he played well in games. Well, he didn't always get his crosses in. Again, this is where people need to look at the data. He didn't always get his crosses in. Most of his crosses hit the first man or didn't make it into the penalty area. So that's not true. Glenn has said the biggest problem is the price. It takes money away from other signings. Bergvall was 10 million. If we paid 40 million for him, would have been overpaying at that point. Value versus immediate impact. Look, the only thing that gives me solace is that we know that this was part of the budget from January. So we know it's budgeted. So moving forward now will be this summer's budget. So almost what I'm prepared to do, Glenn, is just go, right, there's a line drawn. Right, the transfer window starts now. I don't count Tel and Danso as new players. They were already here in my mind. So what are we doing? What are we doing here? Who are we buying? What are we going to buy that makes all the fans on the... Like, we need a signing. I know, it's mad, isn't it? I know, shank. Isn't shank means to stab, right? So somebody literally has come in my chat and said, if you stab Savva, which basically means to kill me, right? If you murder Savva, you're a Spurs legend. That's that's a scary thought, isn't it? It's sobering that I could be walking down the road and someone's just going to stab me because of football. Hey, I guess I better, hang on. What have I got? What can I take out on the street with me? I've got some tweezers. I could take some tweezers out with me. Or my Angepostecoglou Revolution book. Yeah, madness. Listen, let's see what we do moving forward. I think we really need a player that unites the whole fan base, right? I think we need a player that we all go, yeah, look at that for a signing. That's what I think we need. And I think an Mbeumo or an Eze would probably do that. I think would be fair to say. I think an Mbeumo or an Eze would probably do that. Not for sure, but I think probably would. Philly, I said, while Spurs are going to keep raising the prices now, why are so many Spurs fans happy to keep buying future prospects? Talk about a hierarchy who likes their fans. I'm out. Well, this is the thing. Philly, what I don't want then is if things don't go well this year, for those same people praising these signings to suddenly go, oh, well, the manager wasn't backed. Yeah, I don't think this is backing a manager. But, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's have a look, shall we? Should we see what was said? Oh, hang on. It was probably better on here. Here we go. So, let's see what glowing reference the Tottenham the Tottenham marketing team gave to Mathys Tel, signing for Spurs. Here we go. Let me remove me. There we go. So Mathys Tel, permanent deal for Spurs. We are delighted to announce the permanent signing of Mathys Tel from FC Bayern. Mathys joined the club from Bundesliga side in February on loan until the end of the season with an option to make the move permanent. We can confirm we've agreed a deal with Bayern that will see the France under-21 international sign a contract that will run till 31, 6-year deal. He made his debut for the club as a substitute against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup before making his first start with a goal against Villa in the Emirates Cup. His first Premier League strike came from the penalty spot in a 3-1 win over Southampton. The versatile forward made 20 appearances in all competitions, scoring 3 goals. Tel is currently representing France at the 2025 UEFA Under-21 Championship alongside fellow Spurs teammate Wilson Odobert. Now, there's not really a lot to add to that, is there? Like, there's not really a lot they can say about him. There's not a glowing reference to add to it because you think of the 3 goals he scored. One hit him and went in. One was a penalty and the other one was a decent goal against Villa. There's not really a lot to shout about. Luke said Bayern didn't rate Gravenberch, give him time under a proper coach. But again, I'm not doubting that, Luke, but it's the time. It's always give them time, give them time. Why can't we buy a player for now? Why can't we buy a top winger now? Like, everything just is always for the future, always for the future. No, I don't know, mate. I haven't seen anything official. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's see if Romano said anything. I haven't really seen Romano say a lot, by the way, on Mbeumo, which means I don't think there's probably too much going on. Mathys Tel, 6-year contract as well for Tel. The Milos Kerkez deal will happen very soon. Gattuso has become new Italy head coach. What a hard little bastard he was, wasn't he? Nothing really there. I haven't seen anything. I'm hoping that we go in and get some proper signings. Jason, I said, Tel, 20 games, 3 goals, 1 assist. That's what worries me more than the goals. It's the 1 assist. 1 assist in 20 games. So what is he doing in those games? We'll see. Big up to my man, Blaine Dev. Always very, very generous. Big up to you, Blaine. Said, on the fence about Tel. I'll give it till Jan to make judgment. But what people need to calm down about is this deal will be amortized over 4 to 5 seasons. Budget is going to be... I agree with that. I completely agree with that. Really, really, really important to make that point, Blaine Dev. I agree. As I've said, and speaking to Lubo yesterday, for me, this is last year's transfer work, right? For me, whether I like the signing or not, this is last year's transfer work finishing up. Now, whatever we see will be this year's transfer work. So again, big up to you. Thanks for that. And I think that's a really important point to make about the amortization of the deal as well. And essentially, Blaine, couldn't we say that we basically sold Harry Kane for 40 million plus Mathys Tel? Just saying. Imagine someone had said to you back then, we've sold Harry Kane for 40 million plus Tel. Would everyone still be saying it's a good signing? Not sure they would. Big up to you, my man. Cam J said Tel was garbage during the loan. Spurs, let's spend 30 million on him. Well, it's not just the 30 million. It's the 10 million loan deal. It's the 5 million add-on. So it's a 45 million pound deal. Eamon said, what's the latest on Mbeumo? I've got a horrible feeling he's going United. You know, Eamon, I said yesterday, I really want to be wrong. I really want to be wrong. I love Mbeumo. I think he's a great player. I think he's exactly what Tottenham Hotspur need. I've just got the feeling that we haven't seen anything official. I haven't seen anything official at all that a bid's gone in. We're seeing lots of possiblies. We're seeing a lot of... Hang on, here we go. We're seeing a lot of possibles. Possibly Spurs are putting a bid. Maybe we've put in a bid. We're talking... We know that Man United have had talks with him for a number of weeks now. So let's see what happens. Listen, as I said, I think we need an Mbeumo or an Eze. I think we need one to really, really get the juices flowing, right? I think we need a signing. I'm going to sound like a broken record. I think we need a signing that all the fan base go, yes. Not some of the fan base, not few people. All of the fan base go, yes, that's a good signing. like Cunha at Man United. I can't believe many Man United fans are saying, no, didn't want Cunha. Really good footballer, you know? So, mate, it's all right, Jason. It's why we've got the VAR. Jason, it's why we've got the checking for the trials. All good, my man. Thank you very much. All good. TC Barton said, Tel is not a striker. Hits the ball like a 12-year-old. I think the thing is, for me, he got in a lot of positions, didn't he? His finishing was just atrocious. Thomas Frank, he's a coach. He's going to have to work with him on that, isn't he? Picnickable. I like that. The one thing I will say is I like about him was his attitude. Agreed. He has a bit of a bite about him. Agreed. A nasty streak to speak. Agreed. We don't have any other players with that. Hopefully he comes good. Listen, do you know what? Picnickable, which is a great word, but quite difficult to say. I completely agree with you. I really hope he comes good. Like, for me, I don't want any Spurs player to come here and be bad. Like, I don't want that. You know, when people go, you said he'd be good. Yeah, you said he'd be shit. I want every Spurs player to be brilliant. Right? Doesn't mean they all will be. Doesn't mean every one of my predictions or your predictions are going to come right. It is what it is. I just always worry when everyone just says, brilliant signing, great signing, generational. Let's see what happens with this one. We'll see what happens. Ben said the same fans praising these signings think we're going to make top 4. Well, I can tell you we're not making top 4 with that forward line. I can assure you of that. We're not making top 4 with that forward line. We need better forwards without a shadow of a doubt. And I still think we need a number 6. But it is only the 15th of June, as Blaine Dev said. There's a long way to go. Hang on. Let's have a look. When does this summer's transfer window shut? Okay. All right. How many days until September the 1st? Right. Look who it is. Look who it is. Jose. El Tel Cocorel. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Happy Father's Day to everyone.
Yes.
Everyone that celebrates it, whether you're a man or a woman, because there are single parents out there as well that act as fathers as well. So for however you got it, for all the people that act as fathers and are about, happy Father's Day to everyone. Yeah, I'm good, mate. I finished my show, saw that you were on, saw that you was on your own. Can't make tonight because Father's Day. So yes. I've got stuff to do. So I thought to myself, I'll come and join you if you were lonely.
How are you, mate? Well, you know me. I'm always happy to go by myself, but I'm always happy to welcome gentlemen such as yourself onto the show. And I'm only going till 11:45 because it is my wife's 40th today. So
happy birthday,
yeah, she made
Mrs. Savva.
Yeah, she made it to 40. We had a night out last night. About 40 to 50 people turned up. But everyone was sensible. So we wake up fresh. Now we've got barbecue and you know, my brother said to me, do you want me to do the barbecue? And half of me is like, yeah, I'd love that. But the other half is like, no, this is my house.
Yeah.
No, you're not touching my barbecue. Just before I bring you in, Jose. Okay. And by the way, Jose, you're a mod, aren't you? Stick your link in, and let's get you those subscribers. If any of you haven't subscribed to this man, he is an absolute legend on and off of YouTube, I should say. So please do subscribe. Big up to Ryan, who's coming again. Very generous, Ryan. Very generous. Said, happy birthday to Mrs. Savva. Get us something nice with this. And yeah, it kills me not to see my boy, but hey, and can't do Tottenham, do nice things. But hopefully we would love him, Buemo and Eze. Can only see one coming in. Well, listen, look, I'm sure wherever your boy is, he is thinking of you. So don't you worry about that, my man. And as we said the other day, remember, things start piling on top of you. Turn the phone off, turn the internet off, go for a walk, go around the park, do what you got to do, take some bread, feed those ducks, whatever you've got to do, my man. Sometimes switching the internet and the phone off is what you need. Trust me, as a man that's just come out of every WhatsApp group he was ever in, trust me, it works wonders. Big up to you, Ryan. Thank you very much, and happy Father's Day to you. Jose, another Spurs signing where we've gone, boom, with the knife right down the middle of the cake. Yay! Nay. Only Spurs. What do you make of it, my man? What do you make of it?
Well, I've had a show on this already this morning, but I just want to read you out a tweet, right, that World of Hotspur did 15 hours ago, right?
Go for it.
Selling Kane to Bayern while buying Tel in return is the modern day equivalent of selling Berbatov to United and getting Fraser Campbell. New CEO, new director of football, new.
Oh, we've lost him.
Lost it already.
Oh, I think we lost you. Jose, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. We heard you up to new CEO. Carry on from there. New CEO.
New CEO, new director of football, new manager, same old shit.
I've seen that. Yeah. That was sent to me this morning. I'll tell you what's quite funny.
Go on.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, what's quite funny is I said this to Lubo last night. It's all about optics. Had Spurs 2 years ago had sold Kane and somebody had announced Kane's gone for 40 million plus Tel, everyone loses their mind, right? Everyone's like, what do you mean? Harry Kane, 100 million pounds. Blah, blah. 2 years later, you know, people going, oh, actually, I'll tell you what, Tel, good young player, and he could come. What? It's mad, isn't it? It's mad.
Yeah, to me, the thing is, and what I said this morning is on my show is, and sorry, you got quite a few people in that were on my show this morning that are here as well. So they're going to hear this.
Welcome.
They're going to hear this twice.
So what?
So I turned around and I said on my show this morning that there's a lot of people out there that rate Thomas Frank really highly as a coach, talent ID, as someone that's able to change up systems. So we've had all these plus points about Thomas Frank, and everyone's all on board Thomas Frank, and everyone's hyping him up. He's really good at X, Y, Z. And now all of a sudden, Mathys Tel comes in, who has been agreed by Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank said agree, because with the old wanted him, but with the new, Thomas Frank has had to sign off on it or agree to it. He's agreed.
Do you believe that? I don't believe that, Jose, at all. I think this has been done. I think this has been a done deal.
Ready-made. Okay, how many ready-made players? In all honesty, I mean, we're not Brentford supporters, by the way, but for people that can think back, how many ready-made players did Brentford actually go out and buy? Possibly Ericsson, because there was a deal to be done with Ericsson. Possibly Ericsson, but I can't remember, apart from Ericsson, if I'm thinking off the top of my head, in the last 6 or 7 years that he's been at Brentford, that he's gone out and bought ready-made players. He's bought players and he's moulded them and turned them into the players that they've then become through coaching, through systems, through absolutely everything. So with me, I can see that with Mathys Tel, with the way that Frank can set up and can change and adapt, I think he could be coached into becoming better than what we saw of him last season. But I don't think, I mean, listening to the guy, what's his name? Ben Jacobs?
Yeah.
He was on Last Word last night or whatever, and he turned around and said that the Mathys Tel deal has nothing to do with it. It's a side hustle, and that doesn't affect Tottenham's transfer strategy in this window. That remains to be seen. It could be all bluster. That remains to be seen.
I agree, though. Listen, and again, I try to decompartmentalize things. And the funny thing about the word decompartmentalize is it's one of those words that exactly does what it says.
Yeah.
To decompartmentalize that word, you have to do it in sections. Love it. Good word. Lovely word. I do try and separate issues here. First of all, is as a football fan, what's my opinion of a player is very different to can I actually see what the club are doing. And what I mean by that is I agree with Ben Jacobs. This budget would have been budgeted in January. So when they agreed Danso as an obligation to buy, that £20 million would have been budgeted from January, right? It wouldn't be coming out of the summer transfer. Same with Tel. They knew there was an option to buy. That would have been budgeted. Now, it's almost like now Frank's here. We can start our transfer window. For me, Tel and Danso signing isn't really signings, if that makes sense. We knew we had them, they were on loan. It's all about the now, Jose. But do you agree with me? I think the next signing, mate, needs to be one where the whole fan base go, yeah, like that, like an Eze, like an Mbuemo, like a Paulinho. You know, that ilk of player where we all go, top signing.
Yeah, and what I said earlier is that there's between how many days were there, by the way, between now and September the 1st? Because you were looking at
78.
78. So what tends to happen is from about April onwards, when you've got about a month to go towards the end of the season, you start getting linked. Yeah, you start getting linked with players. So I'd say it's nearer 100 days. I always say this, and that when you have the summer transfer window, if you've got 100 days and you're linked to 4 new players per day, that's 400 players you're linked with throughout the transfer window. So we're going to be linked with absolutely everyone. Now, I asked a question earlier with the names that are being, if people are going to follow the train of names that are out there at the moment, you've got Eze, Mbuemo, and Semenyo. So the question I asked is, how many of them would you take? Realistically, do you think Tottenham will go for? Will they go for one of them? Will they go for 2 of them? Would you like them to go for all 3? They've also got this monster 6, like a Douglas Luiz or a Paulinho, that could be players that are available for people to buy. You know, do we need another centre half? Because they're talking about the name in the frame, or your Brathwaites and your Guahis. So you're going to have all these names. But we're now linked with Jarell Hato from Ajax, the 19-year-old. Who's a hybrid? He's a hybrid left wing back, and left centre half. Highly rated, but 19. We're ranked. We've been linked with Pasili from Roma, 21-year-old central midfielder.
Now Basili can play.
Yeah,
21. He can play. I would not be disappointed at signing Pasili. But they're all young, aren't they?
That's correct.
All of these names you're mentioning, they're all kids.
Correct. Yeah, that's correct. So the thing is that what we're crying out for as a fan base, because we're not Thomas Frank, we're not, part of the ring, the inner circle type thing. So, but as fans, yes, we want more ready-made players, especially that we've got Champions League coming up. We want more ready-made players. But at the moment, all the noise is about some youngsters that we're looking at. Yeah. Obviously, the Tel signing today. But as a fan base, we want the marquees. We want the bigger signings to come through the door. And it remains to be seen, at the end of the day, it remains to be seen whether this is actually going to happen. I don't feel that there's going to be too much done before the 30th of June because of PSR and that. I just think that unless there's any opportunistic buy, because some clubs are being forced to sell before the 30th of June, I don't see Tottenham doing any business till at least July, because the players then come back for pre-season. The one thing in our favour, Savva, that I said earlier in my show was that for me, it's a clean break. Tottenham players would have had a proper time off in the summer.
Yeah,
you've got players that have played for their international sides at the start of the month, but that still means that they're going to get 4 to 5 weeks off, so they'll have a proper rest. They come back. I've got a feeling that Thomas Frank is he assesses the opponents when he plays against them. So he would have assessed Tottenham on at least 8 occasions, because they've played us 4 years in the Premiership, home and away. Doesn't matter who our managers were, he's played against Tottenham at least 8 times in the Premiership. So then he's also done his homework on our players. He's also
an astute man.
Yeah,
he's an astute man.
He's watched whatever players we've had in them teams on match days. So he's seen them play as well. So he knows a bit about our team. He knows about our players. He's not silly, and he'll come in. And at the start of July, I can't see us doing anything till July, to be honest. But it's the killing and the waiting that hurts the fan base, and it sends us mental. There we go.
Yeah. I listen. As I said, I'm happy with the Tel signing to be brushed to the side. For me, that should be a player that I think that should be learning from a proper left-sided forward. It remains to be seen next year if he starts. So I said earlier, and by the way, sorry, just quickly breaking away. Everyone in the chat, Matt hasn't done anything wrong. Leave him alone. Just because of his strong views on Ange and the banter me and Matt had last season doesn't mean if you're my mod, you can just block him. He's not done anything wrong. We cannot block people in life for opinions. You can block them for obscene behavior and terrible name calling and abuse, but can we please not block people because you perceive them to be a troll? I'll do the blocking of trolls, all right? Unless it's somebody saying they're going to shank me if they see me in the street, which was a nice thing to read this morning. Yeah, mad, isn't it, Jose? Good job I'm from South London, Jose. I've got my own knives, innit? I got my own. No, I'm joking. Just kidding. Just kidding. We used to joke that when you're born in South London, you come out the womb with a little knife ready to go. Like it was just like,
or a machete, or a machete.
or a machete. Yeah. What I said earlier, yeah. So Matt, listen, hopefully it stops now, but just hopefully it stops now. What I said earlier is if Odegaard and Tel are going to be wide options for us, I've got no problem with that if we've got better in front of them. And what I don't want to see, Jose, is game one of the season. I don't want to see a front three of Tel, Solanke, and Odegaard. I just don't think that shows, one, ambition. Two, I think if that happens, we can give up all hope of talking about top 5 and qualification for Champions League. But 3, I think we need a boost. I think Spurs fans, they want to see an Eze. They want to see a Vlahovic, somebody that makes you go, oh, I want to get back down to White Hart Lane. Is that fair? Is that fair enough?
Yeah, it is. I mean, do you know what's interesting to me, Savva, is that when the season finished, up until the point that the week leading up to and up until 9 days ago when Ange was sacked, since then, everything about the club being sold, Levy going and all that, it's all gone absolutely radio silent. There is no more news about all this. It just seemed to be a whole bluster of news coming out of Tottenham, and that's all gone quiet. Now, to me, you're hoping. I'll go back when Paratici first came to the club, right? I felt that he had Levy's ear. I felt that Levy did detach himself, step away, let Paratici get on with it. I'm hoping that something similar, whether Paratici comes or not, I'm hoping something similar happens this season, because we do need to not do what we did back in 2019 when we played in the Champions League final and then not move on. We've won the Europa League. We're Europa League champions. We know where we finished last season. We know that's not good enough. We know what we need to do. We need to improve next year. So we've made the change. We've got the manager. But even with making the change, you can all turn around and say, or people can turn around and say, yeah, but look at the budget he operated at Brentford. The budget would be higher at Tottenham. There's no point saying that unless people are going to back Thomas Frank and what he wants. Thomas Frank might be a person that says, look, don't want anyone yet. Might want to give everyone a chance. Want to see what they're like and that. And then I'll tell you actively what I need and what I want and what we're looking for. But what we want to see, I think, is we want to see us go out and make signings of proven players. But and we said we repeat through this and repeat. We're saying this. We're proven players, but the board need to come out, or whoever it is that Ange will be, that Frank will be working with, need to come out and do it and make it happen. You know, and we need to get these players. I mean, Frank can do Frank, so he'll coach systems, tactics. He'll do all that. But if he tells you, and you've brought him in because he's the right person now, and he tells you, I need someone to play out on the left, the forward 3, and this is the profile, and this is the kind of player that I'm looking for. Maybe throws in a couple of names of who he's after. They're the type of players I'm looking for, because they worked at Brentford. They worked with the data model anyway, so it'd be well afraid with the data model. But he's not only about data models, is he? Although they use a data model, he's very good with his eye, isn't he, Thomas Frank?
Do you know what? I think this is going to be the interesting thing this year is 2 points I want to bring up that you just said there. The first point about Thomas Frank. We don't know what Thomas Frank is saying, I want X, Y, or Z. Now, if Thomas Frank is saying, I'm not talking about Tel, but if Thomas Frank says, I want, let's use one of his old players. I want Norgard for 2 years, right? are we all, as a fan base, going to turn around and go, oh, typical Spurs, cheap signing, Daniel Levy? Or are we going to say, hang on, the manager wanted him, so you've got to go with it? Because what we tend to do in this fan base, Jose, is when a player works out, they're a manager signing. When a player doesn't work out, oh, they're definitely a club signing. And I've always felt that a bit disingenuous, right? Like Van der Ven, oh, Ange wanted him, right? Who didn't work out? Oh, Solomon, that club signing. And you're like, hang on, why? Because one has worked. The second point there you made was really, really important to the transfer window is Paratici. What you said about anything not happening until, from a transfer perspective, until July, kind of tie in with when Paratici's allowed to start working for us. So I believe it's the 29th of June that that his ban ends, I believe. So I would fully expect the immediate 48 hours afterwards, you're going to see an announcement. The club are happy to announce the return of Paratici. Then we're going to start seeing things. And we know that Paratici, we know that Lang likes to work a bit in the dark, but we know Paratici likes to have 7, 8, 9, 10 plates spinning at any one time. So you're right. We are going to be linked with everyone and their dog, aren't we? We're going to be linked with everyone. And I think for me, more than anything, it doesn't have to be big name signings, sensible signings, Jose. I want sensible signings. Like, if I look at how well Villa have done the last few years, Villa haven't gone and bought anyone where you go, oh my God, it's groundbreaking. Sensible. Yuri Tielemans, Kamara, right? Anana, people like Ollie Watkins, people like Leon Bailey. You know, none of them are wow signings, but they all do the job. They're all good, consistent footballers. That's all I want, Jose. It's not too much to ask for, is it?
No, at the end of the day, yeah, no, it's not. You know, the thing is you're right, and yeah, I know it attracts controversy and it brings up discussions and that. But I just say, chill, man. You just got to take your time, see what happens from the 1st of July. Give Thomas Frank a chance to get in, see what he needs. I mean, he may have already, but we don't know. The one thing I will say is Tottenham, if they want to leak something, they will do so. But of the recent times, and I say for the last 2 or 3 years, Tottenham have become very tight-lipped. It's hard to see where Tottenham are and what Tottenham are doing because you don't see anything coming out from Tottenham. It seems to be that they've gone from being one of the worst clubs in the sense that all the news stories would come out and you find out all about Tottenham to now it's all closely guarded secrets. So we really don't know. We're all trying to guess at different ways to see what's happening in that with the club. So it's hard to tell who we're after, who we're not after, what we're doing, what we're not doing, because they're being so tight-lipped with everything. But yeah, at the end of the day, Frank's our manager. I've got to trust in what he's doing. With Paratici, what you're saying the 29th, I thought it was the 25th of June, but regardless of that, semantics, by the 30th of June,
it's in a couple of weeks. It's in a couple of weeks. By the
30th of June, the 1st of July is when new contracts or a new contractual season starts for everybody.
Yes.
So on the 1st of July, I mean, Tottenham could, if he's definitely coming and there's nothing to do with the ongoing, because apparently he's got somewhat still unfinished business with the courts in Italy at the moment, supposedly. So I don't know whether
Spurs. Spurs.
I don't know whether that's delaying it or not. But Tottenham, is it right or wrong to say he's starting backwards on the 1st of July and to do it now before the 1st of July, or is it better for them to say with everything that's happened beforehand, we can't announce him till the 1st of July? So but I'd like to see Paratici come back. I think that if we're led to believe that Paratici has been involved in finding a new manager along with Langer, the one thing that you can say is that everybody that talks about Paratici and reporters that comment about him said that Frank was on Paratici's list. So that tells you straight away, he comes back, he can work with Thomas Frank, which is vitally important because he's got to be the man that you want. as a director of football. So that would work out really well, having Paratici back and Frank, and I think that they'll work well together. In the background, you've got probably Paratici. I mean, whether it's true or not, I think that in the background, you've probably got Paratici still working and putting irons in the fire, maybe out in Italy. This Pasili chap, I know we use the data model and that, but who's to say that this Pasili chap hasn't been advanced by Paratici rather than just being found through data, because of the data model found him. And you've got people saying that Langer is working in the French market at the moment, looking at French market players. At the end of the day, all I can say is, look, I thank Ange, and I'm going to have to say this. I thank Ange because Ange and the team got us a trophy. They gave us a memorable 48 hours in a season on the 21st in Bilbao, and on the 23rd, seeing 250,000 people turn out for the parade. So you've got 48 hours that Tottenham will never ever forget. You've got a new decade or a new generation of supporters that have now seen Tottenham win something. But we now move on. We've got another manager. Decision's been made. We've got another manager, and we now need to back the manager that we've got. And I'm hoping that as fans, as a fan base, we'll unite and we'll back the manager. But we need the board. We need the board. The board is important in this. We need the board to back that manager as well. So if you've got someone that you're paying and you said, I'm going to give this chap, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 million pounds a season, and we believe he's the right person to manage our club, then surely you need to then trust in what that manager's saying, because you've given him the reins. Trust in what he says. Go out and do what he wants. Because I don't think Thomas Frank. I don't think Thomas Frank is going to be outrageous in whatever demands he's got. He's not going to be outrageous. He's not going to be like some previous managers we've had. And I'm sure that with whatever Thomas Frank wants, surely it's workable for this bloody board. Sorry, carry on.
No, mate. Listen, absolutely spot on. Listen, I think you've got to remember as well. I think you've got to remember that Paratici has been at Spurs now for the last 2-3 months, watching games, pictured. I've got no doubt that he's involved. Yes, officially he cannot start until whenever it is, whatever date it is. But the Thomas Frank, between him and Lang, it stinks of Paratici and Lang. It stinks in a bad way. Just it's got the hallmarks of those two all over it. These players, they would have already known. Frank would have been told as well, by the way. When Frank was in conversations with all these people, he would have been told, by the way, Danso's signing because he's got an obligation. Tel is one we're looking at and keep him. And then Thomas Frank would have been like, okay, cool, but I need these players afterwards. I need, like you said, the French market, the Italian market is a good market to hit because no one out there has got any money. So yeah, listen, I fully expect that to happen. So again, as I said, with the Tel deal, I can put aside what I think of the player for what are we going to do moving forward. I also understand why fans are frustrated and annoyed because it does just seem that Spurs are doing what Spurs normally do. I will readdress this signing of Tel if the next 2 or 3 signings are also more kids, Jose. If we just go and buy loads of 19-year-olds and we don't go and buy proper fools to play in front of Odegaard and Tel and Solanke, I will be coming back to this and going, yeah, Daniel Levy's just done what Daniel Levy does. Right now, I'm willing to say, let's see what happens over the summer. Let's see. Because if he goes and brings in, let's say he brought in Grealish on loan and Mbuemo, suddenly I don't care about that Tel is there to be coached. Brilliant. Coach him. Does that make sense? As long as we bring in the ones above them, I'm comfortable with it. At the moment, I think everyone's just waiting to see, are we bringing people above that? Do you know what I mean? That's where I think we're at as a fan base.
Like I said, yeah, it is. It's exactly what I've said. Alex says I've given you a political answer and I've said nothing. Alex, all I'm saying is as a fan base, we want. We've got the right manager. We've backed the manager. We're all going to do that. But we need the board to also do it their bit as well. They've hired him. So if you hired him, you've got to trust him. And whatever he says that he needs for the footballing side of it, he's not going to be as demanding as some other managers that we've had who probably wanted X, Y, and Z, and probably out of the remit and out of the way that Tottenham would like to operate. with Frank, I'd like to think that whatever he says will stand up. When you've got someone like Paratici, if he's at your club, and you've got someone like Paratici as your director of football and leading the charge that way, what a difference it makes. Even if you just say the words Frank, Paratici and Langer, that certainly sounds different to Postecoglou, Langer and Scott Munn. Because Scott Munn, when he came to the club, I did not have any clue with why Scott Munn was brought in. I saw that he was involved with a City group. He was involved in the Olympics for Australia and stuff like that. But I couldn't see any footballing side on what he had done in football terms. So with Paratici, you've got someone that has a CV of football things that he's completed and done. And to me, it just means that we've strengthened in that area, not only with the manager, but with the DOF. We've re-strengthened in that area. And hopefully, because we all support the club, we want to see bigger and better things in the future from the people that are being brought in.
No, absolutely.
But I totally agree. The youngsters is one thing, right? But we need to. It's all right. You're quite right in what you said. I've watched you, the Reverend, spit in your sermons for ages, and you're quite right in what you say that and it doesn't take. People should take note. Is that it's all right to buy youngsters, but you need to buy quality or have quality that these youngsters can then learn from. And
exactly.
at the end of the day, you need to get that right. And last season, buying 5 players or 6 players that we signed last year, and one was a first teamer, and the rest are all youngsters, then the balance is completely off, isn't it? Great. If you had a 3-3, 3 youngsters and 3 players of note, first team players, then you can learn from them. But to have a 1 and 5 mix, that wasn't right. And it shouldn't be repeated again this season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, Jose, on that note, I am going to leave it. I've got a long day of things to do.
Cool. Just
thought I'd do a quick hour. Guys and girls, listen, first of all, please go and subscribe to Jose Tel Cockerell. Much appreciated. Thank you very much, Jose, for joining me this morning for half an hour or so. Really do appreciate that. Guys, girls, I am going to send you over to Sean right now. So please, I'll send you over to Sean. Please type in Savva Raid when you get there. Really appreciate that. Much love. We'll be back tonight at 7:30 for the Spurs review. Enjoy your Sundays. Remember to say Savva Raid. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Savva.
And happy birthday to the wife.